Let's jump right into this explainer. You know, we hear about the zodiac all the time, usually just focusing on basic personality traits. But today we're going way, way beyond the surface. We're going to explore the ancient esoteric magic hidden deep within the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So here is a thought for you. What if the zodiac's most intellectual signs are actually its most powerful mystics? It's kind of a mind-bending question, right? Mainstream astrology almost always paints air signs as purely intellectual, the thinkers, the communicators, the debaters. And sure, because they process complex stuff with such ease, they can definitely come off as detached or like they're entirely in their own heads. But seriously, don't get this twisted. What if I told you that their legendary intellect is literally just the foundation for some profoundly intense psychic abilities? To really grasp this, we have to completely redefine what air actually is in a metaphysical sense. It is not just the breath in our lungs or just the realm of rational thought. In esoteric traditions, air is basically the connective tissue of the universe. It's this invisible field of communication, the absolute medium of spirit, vibration, and even telepathy. Think of it as the ether that holds both the shadow and the light, allowing things to move and connect across dimensions we can't even see. Let's apply this to Gemini first. Mainstream astrology usually brands them as these curious, quick-witted social butterflies, and honestly, they often get unfairly labeled as inconsistent. But in esoteric astrology, Gemini is the shadow weaver. They are a claircognizant channel. Their true magic isn't just about being chatty. It's his profound spiritual ability to hold multiple, completely opposing perspectives at the exact same time without ever losing their center. And that brings us to Gemini's specific prophetic gift, claircognizance. This is the psychic ability to just intuit information instantly, without even a second thought. It's clear knowing. Because a Gemini's mind moves at such lightning speed, they often know what they know so well that they don't even realize the magic that's happening. They are literally channeling divine counsel, seamlessly weaving between the dark and the light to serve as a true psychic bridge. When you actually open up Gemini's magical toolkit, you realize their legendary adaptability is not flakiness. No way. It is a genuine capacity for telepathic empathy. By holding all those different perspectives at once, they can communicate thoughts directly from one mind to another. They act as the connective tissue between people and ideas, bridging these massive gaps that other people don't even notice. There's this absolutely beautiful esoteric principle that goes, the messenger and the angel exchange their understanding. Just let that sink in for a second. It perfectly captures Gemini's ultimate spiritual role. It's all about the lower, everyday mind and the higher divine mind coming into direct, open communication. Gemini is the vessel where human intellect and angelic wisdom freely exchange notes. Okay, moving on to our cardinal sign, Libra. While mainstream pop astrology reduces them to these aesthetic people pleasers who just want to avoid conflict at all costs, the esoteric reality is way, way more intense. Libra is the dark arbiter of balance. Represented by the scales, they don't just sit around preferring harmony. They actively weigh the scales of karmic justice. That makes them incredibly powerful agents of divine truth. The crucial thing to understand here is exactly how Libra achieves this balance. Well, it comes through their prophetic gift of clairaudience. That is the innate psychic ability to literally hear messages from the divine or to synthesize vital, unseen information just through everyday listening. So Libra's famous diplomatic power, it doesn't come from just being nice. It comes from a clairaudient connection to unseen harmonies and higher spiritual realm. So how do they enact this justice? They have this magical ability called harmony induction. This means they don't just wait around hoping for peace, they actively initiate equilibrium right out of pure chaos. By weighing those scales of karmic balance and bearing divine truth, they serve as a literal mirror of divine justice right here in the physical world. Finally, let's transition to our fixed air sign, Aquarius. Now, usually Aquarius gets cast as the eccentric rebel, right? The detached, quirky individualist who just loves going against the grain. But esoterically, Aquarius is the shadow alchemist and the messenger of higher vision. Their nonconformity is not just rebellion for rebellion's sake. It is the vital, absolutely necessary architecture of our future collective consciousness. You know, Aquarius is the water bearer, but here is the esoteric secret. The water they are pouring isn't physical liquid. It's aqua vitae, the alchemical water of life. What Aquarius is actually pouring out into the world is light, wisdom, and these powerful prophetic frequencies of truth. They're taking divine inspiration and distilling it into actual knowledge to nourish the entire human mind.
And Aquarius can pull off this monumental task because they are uniquely co-ruled by two wildly different planets. On one hand, you have Saturn, representing structure, strict order, and cosmic law. On the other hand, you have Uranus, which is all about shock, revolution, and sudden awakening. Aquarius alchemizes the shadow of societal conformity through this exact crazy paradox, using discipline structure in the service of radical, mind-bending liberation.
This intense energy is actually perfectly encapsulated by the numerology of Aquarius, the master number 11. 11 is the number of enlightenment, of higher vision, and total spiritual evolution. Actually, if you look at the astrological glyph for Aquarius, it even looks like dual lines mirroring an 11. This symbolizes parallel current of reality, mind and matter, the individual and the collective, all merging together into absolute spiritual unity. In practical terms, this gives Aquarius what we can call atmospheric control, meaning they can literally manipulate the energy, the very air and weather of social spaces and collective thoughts. Fueled by this electric intuition that acts almost like sudden downloads of cosmic architecture, they alchemize shadow into revolutionary innovation. They are the true change-bringers, building the systems of tomorrow. So when we map these three signs out together, we uncover this profound cosmic architecture. We can see that Gemini connects through the esoteric ray of love, which is really the ability to connect and deeply understand. Then Libra balances through wisdom, the skill to use that understanding to create active harmony. And finally, Aquarius innovates through service, using that wisdom to build massive structures that benefit all of humanity. Looking at these three together reveals the ultimate evolutionary ladder of the air element. It is the path of the universal mind. It all starts with Gemini, where duality is first sensed and sourced. Then it progresses to Libra, where that duality is weighed and equilibrium is fully achieved. And it finally culminates in Aquarius, where those balanced opposites are totally synthesized into universal group consciousness. I really want you to let the mystical gravity of this next concept sink in for a moment. Forget not that initiation is but another name for synthesis and fusion. The entire journey of the air signs, from that telepathic curiosity of Gemini to the clairaudient justice of Libra, straight through to the visionary architecture of Aquarius, it's fundamentally all about spiritual initiation. It's the ultimate process of fusing our human intellect with the divine mind. Which brings us to our final question for this explainer. The prophetic intuition we've unpacked today isn't just reserved for some chosen few, it is a sacred frequency available in the ether around every single one of us. So whether you are seeking clear knowing, divine harmony, or a revolutionary vision, how will you tune into the unseen frequencies of the air element in your own life? Thanks so much for exploring the deep magic of the zodiac with me today.